Welcome, everybody. I'm Scott Patton, the Dean of Blogonomics and Podology, and I have a very special guest with me today. He is the founder of the fastest growing privately held direct response marketing firm in the United States. He's a 5-time #1 Amazon best-selling author, including the Facebook Ninja, Online Marketing Magic, Cutting Edge Marketing Magic, Real Estate Marketing Magic. Are you starting to see a theme here? Financial Advisor Marketing Magic, and he just came out with his newest book called Podcast Marketing Magic. Get impossible to reach decision makers to seek you out. Write a book without writing a book. And the good part about that podcasting book is I'm in it. And so I want to welcome Seth Greene to the show. How are you doing, Seth?
I am fantastic. Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here and thrilled to serve your folks.
Awesome. All right. So tell us a little bit about your podcasting. You've got a pretty good podcast out right now. How's it going for you?
The podcast is called Direct Response Marketing. It is going fantastically well. We've got some amazing folks who have been on the show, such as yourself, Dan Kennedy, Roland Frazier, Russell Brunson, Perry Marshall, some of the household names of the marketing industry. I've had the good fortune to get to interview and learn from and work with, and it has turned into an incredible platform, a large amount of business, and an entire new service that we are providing our clients with.
Awesome. Well, that's why we've got you on here. This is all about outsourcing podcasts. And so let's just dive right into it. Tell us a little bit about how you help new podcasters or even old podcasters get their podcasts up with a minimum amount of effort. Because really, all us podcasters want to do is get in front of the mic, talk, and go on with the rest of our lives. But there's editing and there's all these other things that need to be done in order for a podcast to work. So I'm going to turn it over to you now.
Sure. Well, thanks. We actually do all the rest. So all you have to do is show up and talk. So we do we work with you. We do the podcast for you. We do the research to determine who your ideal strategic guests will be. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. And we do a proven direct response marketing campaign that is multimedia, multi-step to get the guests to want to be on your show. We then write the interview questions for you. We will, you schedule the episode, get us the audio. We will do the editing. We will produce the intro and outro. If you don't have them already, we'll script them and produce them in-house. We will then manage a submission process to iTunes, the marketing of the show, and part of our secret sauce is we will then take the show and turn every episode, once we have enough of them, into a book that we will do the graphic design, layout, editing, and publishing of in-house, so that not only do you have a podcast, but then you also have a book that comes out of it, just like the one that you're in. And everyone who's in the show, we will get to market that they were on the show. And everyone who is then in the book, just like you, will market that they are in our book, which gets you 2 waves of people helping you grow your business, as opposed to one, if you're lucky, the normal way.
Wow, that sounds pretty comprehensive.
It is soup to nuts, done for you. Little work as possible. So all you have to do is show up and be great on air.
Great. So somebody that's just starting out, how should can we go through a little bit of, because it sounds like all they have to do is the recording. So how do you advise them to put together a recording that's of good quality?
So that depends. So you can have a awesome microphone and fancy studio setup like my man Scott here, depending on where you're at in your podcasting career. Or you can literally just use, the call recorder iPhone app, or something like Google Hangouts, Webinar Jams, freeconferencecall.com, Uber Conference. We don't care. As long as you can get us a decent MP3 file, we can do the rest. Even if you get us a video, we can suck the audio out and turn that into the podcast.
So in other words, getting the audio is pretty easy.
It should be, yes. The technology hurdle is almost non-existent at this point.
Oh, excellent. All right. So you've signed me up with a guest. It's 3:00 in the afternoon. I call them either on my phone or on Skype, or however I do that. I record it. I get you you've gotten me the questions. So I've actually got
a script to follow.
A script to follow. I was just thinking that makes it pretty easy.
It does. That's the point.
Cool. So tell us about some of the people that are using the service now.
So we've done this in industries all over the country, and all sorts of different industries. So for example, I have financial advisors who will say, I want referrals from lawyers and CPAs, and those folks would normally never send them referrals. So what the secret sauce is if you go into a lawyer's office and say, you don't know me, send me business, they're going to throw you out. But if you interview them for your podcast and then put them in a book and publish the book and send them a couple copies, they will say, hey, this is great. Can I buy 200 or 300 more? I want to give this out to all my clients because I look good because I'm in the book. And then we sell our clients books at cost. We don't make any money selling books. So it might be $4 a copy. It might be, they're really cheap. But they look just like the book you'd find at Barnes & Noble. So now all of a sudden you might have 20 attorneys and CPAs in the book, all handing out copies of the book to their clients every single week, sending you business because that client is going to say, oh, I do want a second opinion on my investments. I'm going to go to the guy who wrote the book that my lawyer just handed me.
Right. Wow, that's brilliant. And you can use that. So this is a great way of using podcasts for local businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. It works locally. It works nationally. I've got a golf coach who is using his podcast to get in front of Fortune 500 CEOs. He's got a podcast called the Boardroom, where he interviews Fortune 500 and large company CEOs about life lessons, business lessons learned on the golf course. And he asked them what I call three of my magic questions in the interview process. He says, what's your biggest weakness in your golf game? What is your bucket list golf course? And any person alive today, who would you want to play with? So the CEO says, I got a vicious slice. I want to play Pebble Beach. And I want to play with Bradley Cooper, the actor from American Sniper, because I was a Navy SEAL. And so my client says, off air, would you be open to me sending you some information about how you could play Pebble Beach with Bradley Cooper? And the CEO jumps out of his chair and says, send it to me tomorrow. Wow. And we then send a shock and awe box marketing campaign to the CEO that says, apply for the last golf lesson ever program for Fortune 500 CEOs, which, costs $100,000 a year, because we're going to pick you up in a private jet. We're going to fly you to Pebble Beach with Bradley Cooper. We're going to pay Bradley Cooper his, $30,000 appearance fee. And you're going to play golf on Pebble Beach with me and Bradley Cooper for 2 days.
Nice.
And now Gary, who was one of the founding members of my marketing mastermind group, hasn't been to a physical meeting in months because every month he's posting a picture from Aruba or the Bahamas or Europe or some place that some CEO has flown him to go play golf in.
Wow. The advantage of actually identifying a really good niche market and ideal customer, right?
Yes. And the funny thing is, when we do that marketing campaign to those PR departments for the CEOs, for the companies, they've never asked, how many listeners do you have? No one's ever asked any of our clients, how many people listen to your show? Because to them, podcasting is like brand new. I mean, you've been around podcasting a long time, but to them, it's brand new. So the good thing is nobody asked Gary when he had 10 listeners, how many listeners he had. And, 9 of those were my staff and 1 was his wife.
Right. But he's found a great way. I mean, how hard would it have been otherwise for any golf coach to get any CEO to have a session with them? Right?
Next to impossible, or it would, he'd have to literally fly there and camp out on the doorstep of the company.
Right. And the other side of it is even if he got there and he was talking with the CEO would not at all be interested because it's just like down the road. Who cares? The staff at the golf course is but Pebble Beach or St. Andrews or, now it becomes a huge event. And of course, they have all the discretionary income in the world.
And he's getting a huge number of referrals because the CEO posts pictures and video of him hanging out playing golf with Bradley Cooper and Gary. And then all of his friends are going, and the CFO and his CEOs at other companies are going, how did you get to Pebble Beach with Bradley Cooper? And he goes, well, let me tell you about my guy.
So all of a sudden the CEO becomes a superstar.
Yes, because come on, if you're posting video hanging out with Bradley Cooper or BJ Singh or somebody like that playing golf, everyone wants to know, how did you do it and how do I sign up? Because that's an incredible cocktail party story to tell and a video to show. Like, for example, I was speaking at a marketing conference not that long ago, and Comic-Con happened to be in town at the exact same time. which I did not know. But walking through the lobby at one point of our hotel was Debbie Ryan, the actress from the kids show Jessie, which is my kid's favorite show. And I said, that can't be. What is she doing here? That can't be her, but I got to go ask. So I ran over and said, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Are you Debbie Ryan? She goes, yes, I am. I said, oh my God, my kids DVR you 3 times a day. Will you I don't even know what you're doing here, but will you take a picture? And she said, well, I'll do better than that. Do you have what are your kids' names? Give me your phone. I'll shoot them a video. And so she shot a video for my kids saying hi to them, talking to them. And now my kids have watched that video like 300 times. It got like thousands of likes on Facebook. Every single person has, all their friends and their friends' parents have seen it. And they'll go, oh my God, Daddy's famous. He met Debbie Ryan. I'm like, well, no, I was speaking at a marketing conference. Don't you care about that? And they're like, it's Debbie Ryan. It's Jessie.
Right.
So they're all like, ooh, do you know Jessie? Can you hook us up? But the CEO now actually knows Bradley Cooper. So
that's right. Oh, neat. Cool. So I'm always interested in how you can use podcasting on a local basis, because, it kind of gets all over the world, and, you can have 10,000 downloads and listeners and everything else. But if they're all in Timbuktu and you're a local plumber in New York, it's just not going to work. So I want to delve into that in a little bit more detail. I love the idea of, here's this coach. He's created this massive wish list or bucket list item for people that they're just going to jump on. But if you're the local roofer or plumber or dentist, how would you use this system?
Absolutely. So local dentist, we've got all of those folks as clients. So the local dentist, we would get, let's say he's a pediatric dentist. We would execute our marketing campaign to get the top 20 pediatricians in his town to be on the show and then be in the book. And maybe the book theme is like raising healthy kids, so that now when the dentist sends out copies of the book, 20 pediatricians are handing out copies to every patient who walks in the door because they look great because they're in the book. So now he's getting referrals from all the pediatricians.
Right.
The roofer, we're doing a window contractor right now, and we're interviewing the top 20 real estate agents in the area. And the theme of the book is how to sell your home for top dollar. And of course, we're asking the real estate agents, hey, what should you do? Do you do the kitchen? Do you do the bathroom? Do you stage it? How do you do all this? How do you work your magic? And of course, there's a few chapters by my client that we wrote for him about why windows are literally, and they've got the data to prove it, get you the biggest ROI in terms of home improvements, better than a kitchen or a bathroom. And of course, he's the window contractor to provide those for you.
Okay. So if you were a roofer, you could go and you could talk to the window contractors and the bathroom
or guys and real estate agents and home inspectors and all those people who are also in the house.
Oh, cool. All right. Wow. So that sounds like it's pretty comprehensive. And the whole of course, if you're a real estate agent and you have a really good prospect, here's a book.
Sure. This is why you should list your house with me, or this is why you should hire me to find your house. And if there's only one, if they go see 6 real estate agents and 5 hand them a business card and 1 hands a book, the one who hands them the book is going to win.
Right.
And you can get a free copy of my new book that you mentioned, Podcast Marketing Magic, at my website, ultimatemarketingmagician.com. You will also get access to a free live training webinar with me where I walk you through the exact steps we use to execute this process, and your folks can follow the same steps and get the same results.
Awesome. All right. So, well, that sounds great. So somebody that's starting out on their podcasts, what are some things that they should be thinking about in order to make them more successful, particularly when they're working with you?
Who is your ideal client? And then back up and say, who is the ideal referral source who also sees that client on a regular basis? So if I'm the pediatric dentist and I want more moms who are going to bring the kids, who sees the moms? The pediatricians. If I was a dentist who was doing specialized in divorce smile makeovers, which we've got a client who does that, I would go after.
What is that again? Divorce smiles makeovers?
Yes. So he serves affluent women who are 45 to 55, who are divorced in the last 6 months, who are terrified about dating again and competing against younger women, and they want to do something about their appearance, and to make themselves feel better, but they don't want to do plastic surgery. So instead, they do a smile makeover day with him in his office that looks like a spa. The dentist chair is a massage chair. They get a manicure and a pedicure while they're in the chair. They get served champagne, and they spend $25,000 and get their smile redone, and they bring friends with them to hang out with them during the day who then want to get their smiles done.
Wow.
And so he interviews all the divorce lawyers because they see the lady first when she's getting divorced.
Right.
And then the book is Divorcing with a Smile, or How to Keep Your Smile After a Divorce.
How to Smile After a Divorce. Brilliant.
Thank you.
Right. So that's a really good question. I really like that.
Yeah, think who's your ideal client, and then who's serving them either before you get to them, or who's serving them at the same time you are, or who could, instead of getting you one client at a time, who could go hand out 200 copies of your book or share your podcast with 500 people in your local market, as opposed to trying to get you one client at a time. We work on the principle of massive leverage. We want a flood of business as opposed to just a trickle.
Right. Brilliant. Great. Okay. So Seth, I want to thank you very much for joining us and taking some time out of your busy day. I know you've got lots going on. I really appreciate it. Is there any last tip you want to leave everybody with? And then I'll get you to give the URL one last time, and I'll put it along the bottom when we edit this out so that people can just see it.
Beautiful. I appreciate that. Parting tip would be start yesterday. And my other tip would be the more specific you can define your target market, the better results you'll get. Because I would bet you that 80% of the businesses that we see, the first question I ask in every marketing consultation is, who's your target market? And 8 times out of 10, who they think their target market isn't really who their target market is. When I asked that dentist who now does divorce smile makeovers all day, when he walked in and I said, who's your ideal client? He said, anyone with teeth.
Right. And
we remade his entire practice to be about divorce smile makeovers, and he works a whole lot less and makes 10 times as much money.
Right. That's it. Yeah. It's small is more, isn't it?
Yes. Small is the new big.
Small is the new big. Great. Well, thank you very much, Seth. Oh, last time.
UltimateMarketingMagician.com for the free download of the book and the free access to the live training webinar. UltimateMarketingMagician.com.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us, Seth.
Thanks for having me.
Bye-bye.